Hi, I'm Sarah Henley and we are back in the Slimming World kitchen. Holy cow, this is chow with a wow. And you're thinking, what is this? It's called chow kow beef. It's a delicious stir fry with something called pak choi. If you've never had it before, you'll love it. It's like an oriental cabbage. But before we start that, we're going to make a sauce using a roasted red pepper that's in brine in a jar. They're delicious. If you don't know what to do with the rest of the jar, just keep it in the fridge, and then when you're doing any Mediterranean style cooking, you can shred it up or cut it into cubes and put it into that. Even a Mediterranean salad, or brilliant for a tomato sauce, and whiz it up in the food processor and have it with pasta. Delicious. So there's one in there, you don't even need to chop it. I've obviously got a food processor here. I'm just using the smaller bowl attachment in there. And then I'm going to use a level teaspoon of tomato puree. Simple. Then 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. This is 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. And 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. And then I'm just adding about 5 tablespoons of water in there so that it has some liquid in which to whiz around. And then you just pop the lid on. And you whiz it up until it's lovely and smooth, which I think is about now. Yeah, there we go. How lovely is that? It's going to be a really delicious oriental sauce to go with the beef. So then get your wok on. So I love a non-stick wok, but as you know, if you watch any of my videos, I really love a saute pan. It's great because it's as big as a wok and you can use it for so many different things. And so I'm heating that up. I'm just going to turn it up a bit more. You want it as hot as you can get it because you want things to stir fry rather than steam. And what we're going to put in there is some pak choi. So this is 4 pak choi. You'll see it's a sort of young leaf Chinese cabbage essentially, and it's very tender. But if you can't get hold of it, you could shred up some spring cabbage or use Chinese cabbage as well. And all you do to prepare it is, actually it's a good technique, put some water into the sink, clean sink, and then dunk it in the water like that, upside down. Give it a good shake out, as I spray myself with water, and then you've washed it. And then what you want to do to prepare it, just clear everything out the way, is you just want to take the end off, and then we want to use the stalks and the leaves, but we're going to cut the stalks off separately because they will take a couple of minutes longer than the actual leaves to cook. And then what you want to do into your hot wok is take some low-calorie cooking spray. See how hot that is? That's how hot you want it because you want to stir fry it. So we'll put in all the stalks. If you want to chop it up a bit more, you can do, but I like it quite chunky to go with the beef. And just keep giving that a stir. I'll put the leaves with the rest of the leaves over here. And while that's cooking, I am going to prepare some garlic. Now, garlic's really easy to prepare. You could do this ahead of time and do loads of it. I tend to do it in a little food processor, and then I freeze it in little ice cube trays, maybe like 2 cloves in each tray. And then when you want some and it's midweek and you haven't got time, you can just grab it from the freezer and add it to the dishes frozen. But if you want to get the skin off the garlic, you just take the end off and then you use the side of your knife and you just squash it like that. And what happens is it releases the skin off there. Well, most of the time it does anyway. There we go. And then I've just prepared another 2 there, and then we're just going to finely chop those. If you want to use a garlic press, because you don't feel so confident with a knife, just do that. It's fine. And then the other thing I'm going to add in is root ginger. And this is root ginger. I've peeled it, so you can just use a teaspoon to do that. And then it's about sort of 2.5 centimetres that you're wanting. I'm just going to stir fry the lovely stalks. So they're starting to get like slightly charred, which is what you're wanting to happen to them. So I quite like it at about that for a fine chop for me. So we'll put that to one side. The thing about cooking Chinese food is that you always want to have all your ingredients prepared, ideally, so that you can just literally cook and then eat straight away. Because things cook in a quick time, so you need to be ready. So with this, I'm going to just sort of shred them up. into sticks. But again, if you don't want to do sticks, just, you know, finely chop it if you want to. And again, this would freeze really well. Just do it in sort of, I don't know, that size kind of portions, finely chopped up, and then you can just grab it out of the ice cube trays when and as you need it from the freezer. Oh, I was going to leave that in shreds, but I got carried away with chopping, but that's all right. That's the whole point of the recipes. They're just as a guide for you. So let's have a little look at that. Just give that a toss. And then let's put that in, the ginger and the garlic. Try and get all bits up. Chuck it in, doesn't matter. Somebody else is going to do the washing up, I'm sure, at home. And then this is 2 teaspoons of vegetable bouillon. And that just basically is like a vegetable stock cube. So if you don't have the loose powder, just take a vegetable stock cube and just crumble in about half to one of them, depending on which brand you're using. And then that's going to give it a lovely sort of umami flavour, which is like a savoury note to it. So that's pretty good there on the stalks. Let's add in the leaves. And then if you feel the pan's getting too dry, what you could do is just add in a dash of water. Chinese often use water and steam to cook things. They don't always cook in lots of oil like we do here in the UK for some reason. So just add, like that, tablespoon or so, and just put the lid on. And it's a really good technique to have. So if you are going to buy a pan of any sorts, whether it's the wok or a saute pan, ensure you have a lid, because you'll find that you'll use it a lot. And you'll find that that gets absorbed in there and evaporates off a little bit as well. And then that will help to wilt all of that down. Let's have a little look. See how that's wilted? Just that little bit of water has made all the difference. So I think another 30 seconds and then we'll be there. It's really nice to have that sort of crunch element to the vegetables as well. You're not trying to have them really soft. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's about done. And I'm just going to add a touch more water to just lift everything off the bottom of the pan, all that yummy sort of caramelised sort of garlic and ginger. Then just get a serving bowl and just put that all in there. Look how that wilts down. You start off with 4 quite big pak choy, and then it's like spinach, it sort of just goes down to a little bit. Okay, so get all those bits out of there because they're the yummy bits. Then reheat that, and then what we're going to do is add in the beef. So here's the sirloin beef. And as you can see, they're 2 big steaks, it's about 750 grams. And what you want to do is you want to remove any visible fat. So I can see that that's there, and then just chop round. Sirloin's a really good cut because it often has a piece of meat with a little bit of marbling in there, but not too much. So that will add a bit of flavour, but it's not full of fat in there. And then there's a little bit here as well. Just trim that off. And then you're going to just cut that into cubes. Like so. I'm sort of doing, I don't know, 2 centimetre cubes. I like it quite chunky actually and hearty. And then you can either wipe that out or again add a touch of water. You see how that lifts all of that off? See that? Don't waste that because that's all delicious. And I like a little bit of extra juice in there. And then just take a bit of kitchen towel. Oh yeah, put a bit of foil over that, keep that warm. Just found a bit in the drawer. And then just be careful when you're doing this. It is obviously hot, the pan, but you want to start off with quite a clean pan again. See, that is what you want to remove. And then low-calorie cooking spray, and it just gives the pan time to heat up again, because again you want to stir fry, not steam. So we'll add those in. And then I'm going to wash my hands. So just leave the meat to sort of brown before you start turning it. So now you've got that sort of caramelization going on. And again, you can cook it as little or as much as you like. I'll just make sure that it's all sort of gone slightly brown, but maybe not cooked through before I add the sauce. While that's cooking, what you could do is just slice up a chilli, and if you want a bit of extra chilli or kick to it, this is a good way of doing it. You can just put it in a bowl at the side or just put it on as a garnish, and then people can either pick it out or use it. And if you want it less spicy, just take the seeds out of it. There we go. I'll tell you what, great smells are coming off it. So nice. Okay, and then take the sauce that we've made, and then you just pour that in. And you just bring that up to a boil. And we just want to make it a bit syrupy on there, so it sort of clings to the meat. So I'm just going to leave that for a minute to sort of glaze it. I mean, how easy is that? This is from the Fast and Free cookbook. We've got 60 fabulous recipes in there as well, and they're all done in under 30 minutes from start to finish. So it's a really fab cookbook. There we go. I think, for me, this is how I like my beef cooked, but if you want to go for another couple of minutes till it's well done, you can do. And then all you do is just pour that into the dish. Hopefully you do it a bit better than I do. And then sprinkle with a little red chilli. And then that's Chow Kow steak. Serve it with some lovely steamed rice and more vegetables if you'd like. And away you go.